What's up, guys? We're about 10 minutes until the start of the show. I'm just sending out the links to everybody, and we're going to get started up in here. You can shoot some questions in the comment section. I'll try to answer as many questions before the stream starts, but I'm expecting a fantastic show. Now, I've been hearing from my sources for quite a long time that RDNA 3, the top end SKU, would be 2 times the performance of the 6900 XT. And now, as we're getting closer to this event, well, 10 minutes away, but the last week or so, we've been getting some reports that corroborate that story. We haven't really got any information on ray tracing, and I was trying to get information on ray tracing from anybody I could, and nobody really had any concrete information. Now, in the last week, we've heard some rumors, and I'll be honest, didn't come from anybody that I knew or a site that I trust. So, you got to take those ones with a grain of salt. But they were saying it's up to like 30% better performance over the Ampere GPUs, so over the 3000 series, which would still make it fall short of the RTX 4090 and, the new 4000 series ray tracing capabilities. But also, I believe it was yesterday, we heard another rumor saying that FSR 3.0 is going to be unveiled at this event, and that is a competitor I can't talk, I'm so excited, which is a competitor to DLSS, and it's going to have AI upscaling, which I think AMD needs tremendously. I think what really hurt the 6000 series was the lack of feature set or comparable feature set to the RTX 3000 GPUs. They didn't really have an alternative to DLSS, at least when they launched it. Of course, FSR 2.0 came on later down the line, and it does give you good performance, but it's still not at the same level of quality as DLSS, which is of course using AI upscaling. So that would be a welcome addition to AMD, them unveiling an FSR that does AI upscaling. We're hearing that there's going to be some other features that will benefit high resolution gaming, but those came like in the last 48 hours, so we're going to have to really take those with a grain of salt. But fortunately, we don't have that long to wait. We have maybe roughly 7-8 minutes until the show starts, and that's when we're going to find out all the news. So I'm going to go in the chat to see what you guys are saying right now. Just let me get this open here on my device. Hopefully we're live. Hopefully there's no hiccups here. Let's see. Just bear with me, guys, as I get open my app here. Let's see. Are we live? Yes, we are live. Okay, so that's good. Okay, so we're live. All right. I think we're live. Yes, we're live. Okay, good. Let me mute my thing here. Okay, so perfect. We're live. Have I played my 4090 yet? No, I have not. I received it yesterday. Beautiful looking card. It's really heavy, man. That card weighs like 15, 16 pounds. So at least the packaging that it came in. So it's a really big card. I'm going to hook it up today after today's show. Who knows? Maybe I'll return it. Maybe AMD has something so good at half the price, which I doubt. I do think that it's going to be competitive with the 4090. I think it's going to beat it in rasterization, but I don't think it's going to beat it at half the price. That's just crazy talk. AMD wants to make money just like any other company, and they're not going to sell it at half the price of a 4090. However, I do expect it to be cheaper than an RTX 4090, definitely. Yeah, so hopefully I'll hook it up later on today. I should have some benchmarks up by the weekend. I'll probably shoot like the odd little thing up on Twitter there. But I am excited to try it. Hopefully I don't have too much of a hard time putting it in my case. It is a very big card. So Paul Big G says, my money says they would be lucky to even be close to the 3000 series. Okay, now that's just like fanboy talk, because clearly you're not paying attention, because the 6900 XT was trading blows with the 3090 besides ray tracing. It was trading blows with it. The 6950 XT, that was beating the 3090 in several games. So to think that they're not going to be competitive with the 4000 series, that's just fanboy talk. It's definitely going to be competitive. And let's not forget that this is not a traditional monolithic die. This is going to be a chiplet design. So it's going to be really efficient, and I think they're going to have a lot of performance, and I think they're really going to surprise some people today. Am I scared of the power cable burning up? No, I'm not. Now, if you look into it a little bit, the power cable was, it's, I don't want to say it's not an issue because it is an issue, but if you look at the sample size, it is a smaller issue, but it is still an issue nonetheless. But fortunately for me, I won't be using the one that comes with my RTX 4090. I actually ordered a third-party one off of Amazon that I already received, and I also ordered the Cable Mods one. Hopefully the Cable Mods one ships this week. But I do have an alternative, so I'm not worried about it actually burning up. I got a better cable than the one that comes with it, so I'm okay there. Papa Jensen for president from Fruit of the Palm. Oh man, too funny, too funny. Today, man, like on this channel, you guys know I'm just a fan of tech. I try not to fanboy at all. I like all technologies. Yeah, sometimes I might go crazy on some tech, but I'm always objective. I always give all technologies a chance. And you know, for years I liked NVIDIA, but I never really owned their cards. I would just own a lot of AMD cards. And with the ray tracing, I got fed up of being left out, you know, of certain games, not being able to play ray tracing. So I believe the generation before last, I started buying more NVIDIA cards. Last generation, my main card was a 3090. That was my main card last generation. And I love that card, man. That card performed, it breezed through everything, and it was better than AMD's equivalent. Now, I don't want to say it was better in rasterization in every single game, but when it came to, you know, having ray tracing, having, you know, DLSS, it was just better. So that's why I'm hoping today that AMD can really bring the heat to NVIDIA and offer something similar. Someone is saying, Space Invader saying, hopefully this GPU is below $1,000. I don't think this is going to be below $1,000 US. So you can forget about that. I don't think it's, I think realistically the top end, like the Halo product, I think we're looking at probably $11.99. I think we're looking at maybe about $1,200. Maybe the 7800X we can get for $1,000, but the top line SKU is it's going to be at least $1,200. Now I could be wrong, and AMD could really surprise us all, but that's what I believe. I think it's going to be about $1,200. My thoughts on people calling the PSVR 2 overpriced. This is by Joe L Vlog. I can understand console guys saying that it's overpriced because it costs more than the PlayStation 5, but let's not forget when the original PSVR came out, it cost more than the PlayStation as well. So, you know, I don't really know. To be honest with you, the hardware that's inside of the PlayStation VR, it's very capable. It's actually top of the lines, top of the industry. Nobody else is doing all the things that Sony is doing with their PSVR 2. So I think the price is right. Now, the problem, like I said in yesterday's video, is they don't have enough software at launch to support that price. And they locked out the PC community, which makes no sense. You got a fantastic headset, one that's top of the class, one that's a little bit pricey, might be priced out for some console guys, yet you block it, or I don't want to say block it, because I'm sure someone's going to find a workaround or a hack, but you don't have native support for PC on your PSVR headset on the second version of it. I think that's a missed opportunity. I think it's really stupid, to be honest with you. I think they'd move a lot more units opening up to PC and supporting their games on there, their VR games on there. They would get some traction. So I don't know. Sony needs to figure it out, but console sales will always be there, but there's another market that you need to tap into. And especially when you have such an expensive device that has most traction on PC. So logically you should put your top device on it. Okay, the stream is about to start. Show. This will be a comment-free show, maybe a couple claps and gasps, but I won't be talking through the show. So just enjoy it, and I'll talk when the show's over.
welcome, and thank you all for joining us today. It's so exciting to be here back in Las Vegas in person. So thank you all for joining us and being part of our audience. And also welcome to all of you who are joining us online from around the world. So are you excited for today? We have some amazing new products to show you. So let's go ahead and get started. And you guys all know us well. At AMD, we're all about high performance and adaptive computing, and really using technology to create solutions to the world's most important challenge, automotive or PCs. AMD technology is truly everywhere, touching the lives of billions of people every single day. Now, we're in an incredibly busy time for AMD. It's an incredible period of innovation. We're in the midst of introducing actually 4 new architectures to the market across more than a dozen products. So if you look at it, we started with the Ryzen 7000 launch in September, and many of you joined us there. Next week, we're gonna bring Zen 4 to high-end server processors, and then soon after that to notebook PCs. And we also have our Zen 4 C core optimized for cloud-native computing, and our next-gen XDNA architecture that are gonna launch in 2023. But of course, today, it's all about gaming, and we're here to talk about our next-generation gaming architecture with RDNA 3. So now just a minute about gaming, right? We all love gaming. Gaming is really in AMD's DNA. And when you look through 2025, we're expecting 3.5 billion gamers in the world. And our goal is really to push the limits of gaming innovation to really provide the best solutions across the board together with all of our gaming partners. So whether you're talking about developers creating new games and experiences, or you're talking about the companies that are serving the content, or you're playing your games on your devices, or you're a streamer that are really trying to stream those experiences to other gamers, our mission is to bring you the best experience possible for all of your gaming platforms. Now, Ryzen processors and Radeon graphics are really at the heart of all of the world's most popular gaming devices, including the top gaming PC OEM systems, cloud gaming services, Sony PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, Valve Steam Deck. We're also bringing gaming to automotive with the newest generation of Teslas. And of course, for all of the folks out there who are building your own PCs, we love the DIY market for all of the PCs that you build. Now, when you think about that, why is gaming so important to AMD? It's really all about pushing the envelope on innovation. Just over a month ago, we launched our next generation desktop PC processor, the Ryzen 7000 series, which was really the most advanced processors for gamers and creators. And the response has been really incredible. We have leadership performance per watt, we have phenomenal gaming and creative performance, and it's all enabled by our new Zen 4 core in 5 nanometer. Now, with Ryzen 7000, we also launched our next generation AM5 desktop platform, which has all of the latest I/O, and we're committing to delivering socket longevity on that through 2025 and beyond for lots of future upgrades. And we also know that people love AM4, and AM4 is going to continue for a long, long time. And for there, Ryzen 7 5800X3D is also a fantastic choice for gamers. Now, today, it's all about the next generation of Radeon graphics and how we deliver the future of gaming with the world's most advanced graphics architecture, RDNA 3. So let me start and tell you a little bit about RDNA 3. We really set truly ambitious goals for RDNA 3. And as you know, at the forefront for what we're doing is it's all about power and energy efficiency. And we want to make sure that we continue to innovate around performance per watt leadership to enable all of the gamer upgrades to be done with fantastic performance, but at a reasonable power. And we also wanted to significantly raise the bar in performance to support the next generation of 4K gaming and beyond, and really recognize that there are a lot of faster and higher resolution displays. And then finally, we also look at it as not just about the chip and not just about the card, but really what is the gaming experience we can bring. And that means new AMD software features, that means platform technologies, and really end-to-end solutions with our CPUs and GPUs and software coming together. So there's a lot of innovation in RDNA 3, and we'll tell you all about it today. Now, there's a lot been said about our new chiplet design, so let me start with our chiplet design. This is the world's first chiplet gaming GPU. Now, why did we use chiplets? Chiplets really allow us to use a modular approach to optimize the performance and efficiency of the overall design. And so with our chiplets, like we've done on the CPU side, on the GPU side, we're mixing and matching the right technology for each function. Now, the graphics compute die is a high-performance 5-nanometer technology design, and it contains all of the high-performance compute in the GPU. That includes the shaders, the display engine, and a brand new media engine as well. And then the other die is a memory cache die, and it's built in 6-nanometer process technology and includes the memory subsystem that features the GDDR6 controllers, as well as up to 96 megabytes of infinity cache. And as a result, we have just an incredible capability with more than 61 teraflops of compute. By the way, do you guys think you need 61 teraflops of compute? We also have the world's fastest chiplet interconnect to enable 5.3 terabytes per second of peak bandwidth. And that allows us to unlock the full potential of 24 gigabytes of GDDR6. So altogether, when you put that together, we have 58 billion transistors in this design, which gives us just an incredible amount of gaming performance. It sounds like there's a few excited people out there. Okay, so now let me show you for the very first time our newest chiplet gaming GPU. This may be my favorite part of my job, I think. All right, so look, as I said earlier, we set very ambitious goals for RDNA 3, especially around energy efficiency. And I'm pleased to say that we actually exceeded our goals. So our engineers did a fantastic job, and we made great improvements between RDNA 1 and RDNA 2. And with RDNA 3, we actually achieved a 54% gen-over-gen improvement in performance per watt. And when you put all of that together into what really matters, we're about building the best products for you. So today, I'm incredibly proud that we're going to announce our first two RDNA 3 graphics cards. The Radeon RX, the Radeon RX 7900 XTX with 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 and the 7900 XT with 20 gigabytes. So you can imagine these are just incredible gaming cards. So now I'm going to turn it over to Sam, Scott, and Frank that are going to take you through all of the exciting product details. Sam?
Lisa, well, as she said, with RDNA 3, our vision was to engineer the most advanced 4K and 8K gaming platform for gamers and creators, containing the features, performance, and efficiency to provide the best gaming experience. To achieve this vision, we have brought unprecedented innovation to all aspects of the design. Now, it's my privilege to hit on a few of those highlights for you this morning. The first and most evident innovation is that we have leveraged our industry-leading expertise in chiplets, honed on our Ryzen and EPYC lines, to bring chiplet architecture to GPUs. The magic of chiplet design is being able to use the right technology for the right job. So we created two very different chiplets connected with high bandwidth interconnects specific to graphics. With the graphics compute die, we spin that precious 5-nanometer silicon where it matters, in the core GPU engine, where all the computation occurs to enable great performance and performance per watt. For that small memory cache die, we use the mature 6-nanometer technology to implement the GDDR6 memory interfaces and our second-generation infinity cache. These diminutive but powerful MCDs feature a second-generation infinity cache, each connected to 64 bits of high-speed GDDR6 memory, combined up to a width of 384 bits. We've tuned this infinity cache to enable better data reuse with less capacity to accomplish several things for us. With the high hit rates, it directly sources most of the memory requests, and this delivers data to the engine in less time and uses less power than going out to DRAM. With our high bandwidth Infinity Fabric chiplet interconnect, we've increased the peak bandwidth from our RDNA 2 implementation by an astonishing 2.7 times. And that's where that 5.3 terabytes per second number you just heard comes from. These support the gaming at the highest resolutions. So now I want to take you a little bit deeper, click down into that graphics compute die, which is built around our new RDNA 3 compute units, where we've continued with our area-efficient unified architecture that shares resources between rendering, AI, and ray tracing to make most effective use of each transistor. In addition, contained within this GCD is a key part of delivering a great gaming experience, driving the latest displays with massive refresh rates for high-resolution gaming. All of the latest media formats are in there with our media and display engines. Now to the core of the engine, which is the new unified RDNA 3 compute unit, specifically optimized for high-resolution gaming. The key word here is unified, which means we have a tightly integrated unit which shares resources to deliver the most power and area-efficient performance. We've tuned it to provide the right blend of flexible, highly efficient stream processing, additional AI acceleration capabilities, and greatly enhanced ray tracing acceleration. All of this is fed by a general purpose register file with 50% more capacity than the RDNA 2 design, which boosts the performance of all the functions. To deliver this well-rounded feature set, we've leveraged 5 nanometer to the fullest to pack 54% more transistors in less area, increasing our density by 165%. Well, as every chip designer knows, it's a lot of transistors. And as every chip designer knows, smaller is faster and more power efficient. And so this enables RDNA 3 to deliver even a better gaming experience. Now, looking at the stream processors, we took a huge step in RDNA 3 by going to dual issue Wave 32 units. This enables us to better utilize the data paths by issuing 2 different instructions down each 32-lane SIMD, or we can use them in parallel like we did in RDNA 2. We can issue different integer or floating point operations down each SIMD data path, mixing and matching based on the workload demand. The net result is faster frame render times for higher FPS from better utilization of all the functions in the compute unit. And it handles now 2 times more instructions per clock. So we have also greatly enhanced the RDNA AI acceleration. And AI, of course, enables a host of capabilities that are growing in importance to the gaming community. And we've increased the AI throughput for commonly used math functions, which, while integrating these tightly within our unified compute unit. These share the same register files, caches, and instruction scheduling as the stream processors. And the enhancements provide up to a 2.7x increase in AI performance in the most area and power efficient way possible, setting RDNA 3 up to exploit the current and future uses of AI. The final enhancement to mention to our compute unit is the ray tracing acceleration, which is built on new instructions in the shader and support for DXR ray flags and many improvements for ray box sorting and traversal. Amplifying all of this is the ability to enable more rays in flight with that 50% larger general purpose register file that I mentioned before, combined with larger L0 and L1 caches to back it up. These improvements provide compelling gains for ray trace gaming content with up to 50% more performance per compute unit. Next, I want to introduce you to our Radiance display engine, featuring the industry's first DisplayPort 2.1 and a high-performance gaming graphics card. This DisplayPort enables 480 hertz refresh rates at 4K resolution and up to 165 at 8K. And the 12 color bits per channel enables an incredible 68 billion colors for amazingly realistic images and graphics. And with the display link bandwidth of up now to 54 gigabits per second, we have doubled that bandwidth per port over RDNA 2. And this supports the unprecedentedly high refresh rates at the highest resolutions. In support of the latest media formats and standards, we have a new dual media engine, and it supports 2 simultaneous encode or decode streams up to 8K60 or AVC and HEVC. It supports AV1 encode and decode while also leveraging AI enhancements to improve video encoding and conference quality. And by greatly increasing the frequency inside the media engine, we delivered up to 1.8x the performance versus RDNA 2, reducing export times almost in half. So now a bit more about clock speeds. These are obviously critical to performance, and most workloads that we have found and analyzed are actually more limited by the front-end work distribution and command processing than by our high-performance shader engines. So we recognize that we could utilize higher frequencies in a smarter, more power-efficient way by using our new to RDNA 3 decoupled shader engine frequencies to run only the front end at a typical 2.5 gigahertz, while the shaders operate at a more efficient 2.3 gigahertz, which is still 15% higher than RDNA 2 at launch. With this sort of advanced power management, we deliver the maximum frames per second while also saving up to 25% power. This contributes to our remarkable 54% product level performance per watt gain. With the higher frequency and the new dual issue RDNA 3 compute units, we enable a 2.7x leap in raw compute power. You heard it from Lisa, a remarkable 61.6 teraflops of performance in this engine. Well, putting it all together, we have delivered on our vision by inventing the world's first chiplet-based gaming GPU, enabling the optimal use of 5 nanometer technology, delivering 15% higher frequencies at 54% better power efficiency. Our advanced chiplet interconnect provides an amazing 2.7x leap in peak bandwidth to feed that 60 plus teraflop engine. The new unified RDNA 3 compute units have twice the instructions per clock, enabling them to fully utilize our data paths and provide incredibly high performance for rendering, ray tracing, and AI applications in the most power and area efficient way. We connect this rendering horsepower to the industry's first GPU DisplayPort 2.1 to support massive refresh rates and include the encode and decode for all the latest media standards. The result is what we set out to achieve, the most advanced GPU optimized for gamers and creators. Now I'd like to hand it over to Scott, who will tell you more about this incredible product.
What's up, gamers? How is everybody doing today? Oh, we've been working on this for 3 years, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of hours in our engineering group. And I'm sure they're tuning in today, but I can't be more proud of what they've been able to create for you and to create for us, and it's going to be a great time. So now, I know what you want to see: performance, price, and availability. Is that right? Do you want to see that? Sounds good, but you're going to have to stay for a little bit to get availability and price, but I'll show you performance. I'll show you some performance. So today, 4K sets the standard where enthusiast GPUs are measured. According to IDC, in the last 5 years, there is 3 times increase in shipments of 4K monitors. And the Radeon RX 7900 XTX is going to be the perfect card to power your games at 4K. In pure rendering, the 7900 XTX is up to 1.7 times faster than our previous generation flagship GPU. And in ray tracing, we are seeing up to 1.6 times more performance in native 4K. What do you think? Now that you've seen the performance, allow me to introduce the Radeon RX 7900 XTX. Take a good look. We've spent a lot of time optimizing this car, but more importantly, making sure that you're going to be proud when you put it into your rig. Absolutely fantastic. This gaming card is built to provide exciting performance in 4K resolution and beyond. RDNA 3-based GPUs are like no other. It features 96 unified RDNA 3 compute units running at 2.3 gigahertz game clock, and it comes with 24 gigabytes of GDDR6 with 384-bit support. This card is future-ready with AV1 encode and decode for streaming and video export, and it has the latest DisplayPort 2.1 technology for up to 4K 480 frames per second or 8K 165 frames per second gaming capabilities. All, ladies and gentlemen, with a board power of just 355 watts. The XTX. Today, we are also announcing the Radeon RX 7900 XT, a massive leap in performance over the last generation. It features 84 unified compute units running at a game clock of 2 gigahertz and comes with 20 gigabytes of 320-bit GDDR6 memory with the same support for AV1 and DisplayPort 2.1. The 7900 series gaming cards are industry leaders in performance per watt. There is no need to rebuild your desktop, no need to upgrade your case, and there's no need for a new power adapter. Yep. We made it as easy as pulling out your old card and putting in a new one. Previous generation enthusiast GPUs, including those recently launched by our competitor, only support DisplayPort 1.4. Gamers who purchase these graphics cards will see limited frame rates. But with the RX 7900 series of GPUs, it'll allow you to actually see the frames you are paying for when you upgrade to a DisplayPort 2.1 monitor. If you are paying that much money for a brand new gaming card, you should demand a GPU that will allow you to game into the future. And only the 7900 series can give you that. And starting in early 2023, an incredible new generation of displays at a range of resolutions from leading display vendors will start rolling out to gamers, including this sneak peek from our friends at Samsung with their brand new Odyssey Neo G9, expected to be the first DisplayPort 2.1 8K, I'll say that again, 8K, ultra widescreen gaming monitor ever. What do you think? More details on the design and specs will be unveiled soon at CES in January of 2023. And to power high refresh rate gaming displays, both today and your future upgrades, we've developed a suite of powerful software enhancements, which includes technologies such as Fidelity FX, Super Resolution, and Smart Access Memory. Combined with our new unified RDNA 3 compute units, the Radeon RX 7900 series delivers the next generation of high refresh rate gaming. AMD's Fidelity FX Super Resolution, or FSR, technology works on all modern GPUs to provide high fidelity visuals and incredible frame rates. In just 16 months, FSR will be available in 216 games, proving just how compelling open technologies are for the entire industry. Our latest update, FSR 2.2, reduces super resolution temporal ghosting, not only the artifacts on fast-moving objects, and it'll also be available in Forza Horizon 5 soon. Now, 1440p gaming displays with high refresh rates continue to be one of the fastest growing choices for gamers. With the 7900 XTX and Apex Legends, you will be able to reach the game's hard frame rate cap of 300 frames per second. And in other popular titles, the 7900 XTX can push your games to its limits. Games like Overwatch 2 and Valorant are great examples of why DisplayPort 2.1 is so important. Now, there's finally a gaming card to drive 300 to 800 frames plus frames per second gaming on ultra high refresh rate displays. Now at 4K, the 7900 XTX is the card to get. By turning on max settings in AAA games and using FSR upscaling, you can hit triple-digit performance. It even makes playing competitive esports titles at 4K a real possibility. Hundreds of frames in your games at 4K resolution. Now, I'm not saying that you would, but you could play games with RX 7900 XTX that go beyond today's 8K 60 Hz limits. In Dawn of Ragnarok, the latest expansion to Ubisoft's acclaimed Assassin's Creed Valhalla, with FSR paired with the 7900 XTX, you'll be able to get 96 frames per second at a crisp 8K resolution. It's truly incredible to see and experience. The RX 7900 series can power the next generation of displays like 8K ultra-wide or high refresh rate 8K displays above 60 hertz. Next generation RDNA 3 compute units, new levels of memory bandwidth combined with the latest upscaling technologies deliver the performance to power these incredible experiences. A lot of gamers are excited about features like ray tracing in their games. Today, I'm excited to announce that DirectX ray tracing is coming to one of the most popular franchises in the world, Halo Infinite by 343 Industries. Halo Infinite will now support ray trace shadows across arena and big team battle modes, and players with AMD hardware will notice improved lighting, sharper shadows, and increased performance on RX 7000 series platforms with ray tracing acceleration. DXR will be available in Season 3, so look for it in your graphics settings soon. And with the RDNA 3 architecture, real-time ray tracing performance has greatly improved generation over generation. In Dying Light 2, with ray tracing features turned to the max, the 7900 XTX delivers performance above 60 frames per second with FSR at 4K. Cyberpunk and Hitman 3 also have significant performance uplifts, giving you the performance you need to stay immersed in your game. But today we're also announcing a technical partnership with the Callisto Protocol coming in December. This third-person survivor horror game, developed by Striking Distance Studios, features incredible lighting and shadow effects, along with movie-quality textures and animations to set the eerie mood in this sci-fi experience. Ray tracing is used to full effect here, with shadows, translucency, and glossy refractions coming together to capture the most subtle details that create giant leaps in realism. At 4K and higher resolution, the Radeon RX 7900 series is optimized to deliver incredible frame rates to power this experience. Now next, we are also announcing a technical partnership with Luminous Productions and their action RPG, Forspoken, launching in January. Luminous Productions has created some truly breathtaking visuals in a fully realized fantasy world, powered by hybrid ray tracing for realistic lighting and shadows on the characters and environments. Forspoken looks and runs incredibly fast thanks to its implementation of Fidelity FX features, including FSR, variable rate shading, ambient occlusion, and downsampler, all optimized for Radeon. We've worked closely with game studios to optimize for the next generation of games. At Ubisoft, Snowdrop has been in development for over a decade and is one of its most important gaming engines. This is the same engine utilized across a variety of PC and multi-platform titles, from Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope to Tom Clancy's Division 2. By the way, one of my personal favorites, long live the Bullet King. If you play the game, you'll know. Today, we are announcing our partnership with their next generation engine. This tech demo is beautifully rendered with global illumination, blur reflections, and shadows in addition to other effects that the Snowdrop engine uses, such as volumetric weather effects and micro detail rendering. We've worked with Ubisoft to add a highly optimized AMD ray tracing implementation that unlocks even smarter ray processing than DXR alone can provide. With high performance ray tracing enabled on a 7900 XTX, we are getting frame rates above 80 frames per second at 4K with FSR2. We're excited to see the Snowdrop engine come to life in major upcoming titles, including Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, Splinter Cell, and Ubisoft's Star Wars project. Right? Let's go, indeed. With the announcement of Unreal Engine 5, a lot of gamers, including myself, are excited to see what new games and experiences will be created in this popular engine. UE5 is optimized to take full advantage of our unified RDNA 3 compute units with excellent ray tracing and rasterization performance. In this UE5 sample, optimized for Radeon, we're able to hit an average of 60 frames per second at 4K with FSR2 enabled. Even with the resounding success of FSR2, we won't stop there. I'm excited to show you a preview of a brand new version of Fidelity FX super resolution technology, appropriately named FSR3. FSR3 combines our best-in-class temporal super resolution technology and our new AMD Fluid Motion Frames technology to deliver more frames per second in your games. Fluid Motion Frames increases FPS when using very demanding settings. FSR 3 will provide up to a 2 times increase in frames per second at 4K resolution over FSR 2, a significant boost across your supported games, and will be coming to PC gamers in 2023. To give an idea on what's possible with our brand new generation of gaming cards, I'd like to show you what Sava and his small team of artists were able to create using a standard animation pipeline to build their dark sci-fi fantasy film, Beckoning, in Unreal Engine in just 4 months. Let's hear from Sava.
My name is Sava Živković. I wrote and directed Beckoning, and I want to briefly talk about how Unreal Engine 5 and AMD are empowering small teams to create cinema-class animated films. In Unreal Engine 5, Lumen and Nanite shine with the Radeon RX 7900 XTX, allowing us to walk around completely lit environments and characters and to explore the shots. This significantly speeds up the production and enables us to make creative decisions at the speed of thought. You can change the lighting, character or environment placement, or entirely change the camera angle if you so desire. This amount of speed and flexibility is unprecedented in traditional animation pipelines, and is one of the main reasons why I personally believe producing feature-length animation with smaller teams is now a reality. And when it comes to high-fidelity output, the FSR Movie Render Queue plugin upscales the final frame rendering to 4K or even 8K. CG animation has never been as fast and as fun.
Pretty cool. By the way, in reviewing that video, it sure does make it look easy to create a new movie, doesn't it? But I don't think it is. The Radeon RX 7900 series are the most advanced gaming GPUs. First of all, they are easy to upgrade into your existing gaming rig. They feature industry-leading enthusiast GPU support for next-generation displays. They will deliver ultra-high frame rates in both native and upscale games, and of course comes with up to 24 gigabytes of memory to drive the next generation of games and advanced workloads. All of our innovations enable the 7900 XTX to deliver an incredible leap in performance of up to 1.7 times faster 4K gaming. Now, let me invite Frank Azor to the stage to show you how the Radeon RX 7900 series powers the next generation of gaming and streaming experiences. Frank?
I am incredibly excited to be here with you guys today. It's just been so long since we've been able to all be together and to do this the way it deserves to be done, right? In person and just with all these incredible games and visuals behind us. What do you guys think about the new graphics cards? Awesome, right? Don't worry, Scott's gonna come back and tell you when you're gonna be able to get them and what they're gonna be priced at, okay, I promise. But they're incredible graphics cards. But you know what's even more incredible is that at AMD, you get more than just a great graphics card. We're committed to building the absolute best gaming, creating, and streaming experiences. I'm going to share with you today a little bit about some of our latest developments of how we're pulling it all together to bring you the next generation of PCs. Great hardware, as you've seen today, deserves great software. And AMD Adrenalin is your software interface for harnessing the full potential of your AMD-powered system. We're committed to bringing you an Adrenalin software that you can depend on, and that offers you state-of-the-art features and next-level gaming experiences, as well as streaming and for creating. If you're not already familiar with AMD Adrenalin, let me catch you up real quickly to what you've been missing. Adrenalin is your hub for just about everything. You can find and launch your games, plus monitor your stats and performance across all the games on your system, all from one home screen. You can customize your Radeon settings for each game, as well as record and stream those games right from within the UI. You can even turn your system into its own personal game server and connect your smartphone, tablet, or another Windows PC to play your games remotely from anywhere. And of course, you can take full control over your AMD graphics card and your Ryzen CPU and tune them for maximum performance and efficiency. Adrenalin, it's simply awesome. But there's probably two things that I love most about Adrenalin. First, it's the fact that all these features are within one unified UI. And second, it's a completely unlocked experience, meaning we don't force you to create an account. You're not going to be monitored by us. You're not going to be tracked. You can just access all these features. You can customize your system to your content and just play the games you love, because that's what you deserve. So let me talk to you about some of the upcoming features you can expect from the next version of Adrenaline. Existing features like Radeon Super Resolution, Radeon Boost, and Anti-Lag are huge performance amplifiers for your gaming experience. But let's be honest, most of us don't want to have to learn about each new feature, how it works, which games it works on, which features work best with one another. When we finally get some time to sit down and game, it's just too much complexity to deal with. I just want to get in the game and I want to play. So we heard you. To simplify all this, we're introducing Hyper RX mode. With Hyper RX, we've redeveloped these performance boosting technologies to all work together and at the same time, compounding their benefits and giving you a one-click experience to improve frame rate and latency. In the game Dying Light 2, just to give you an example, in the game Dying Light 2, we're seeing performance improvements with Hyper RX up to 85% with 1/3 of the latency. It's incredible. So look forward to Hyper RX coming out early next year, and you can experience it yourself. All right, so let's talk about what are we doing to help improve your recording and your streaming experience. OBS, as many of you know, is the leading video recording and live streaming platform out there, and it's used by some of the world's most successful and popular streamers. Well, we've partnered with OBS to improve video streaming quality across all bit rates on Radeon RX 6000 and 7000 series graphics cards. Additionally, with the new AMD RDNA 3 media engine, we've added AV1 hardware encoding, improving quality and transforming live streaming. In this example, we're looking at a recorded image of Halo, captured with OBS on the Radeon 7900 XTX graphics card. Both images were captured at the same 3.5 megabit per second bitrate. As you can see behind me, the quality of the stream and the text within it is visibly pixelated. But with the addition of our AV1 hardware encoding, updated pre-analysis and pre-filtering algorithms, plus our OBS optimizations, the playback quality substantially improves, providing a clear, sharp, and a smooth viewing experience. Additionally, with Xilinx AI and content adaptive machine learning technology, we've integrated that into the AMD framework, and it's been trained to learn, predict, and target small text and menus, making them legible again, especially when streaming at low bit rates and resolutions up to 1080p. The new AMD RDNA 3 media engine reaches beyond streaming, though. With our dedicated AV1 hardware processing, video encoding is up to 7 times faster than software, even at ultra-high resolutions like 8K. Support for the RDNA 3 media engine will be available across applications like Adobe Premiere Pro, FFmpeg, Handbrake, and in upcoming releases of OBS. And then for video creators, any video creators in the audience? Anybody create video? You're gonna love this. So we're introducing something we call Smart Access Video. Smart Access Video works with select applications when you pair the Ryzen 7000 series with the new Radeon 7000 series. And unlike other platforms that can really only make use of either your CPU or your GPU's video compression engines, Smart Access Video distributes the encoding and decoding workloads across both your Ryzen CPU and your Radeon graphics card's video compression engines, enabling faster 4K and 8K editing. And when it comes to batch transcoding, Smart Access Video reduces parallel transcoding times by nearly 1/3. Smart Access Video will be available across applications like OBS, Premiere Pro, FFmpeg, and more starting in December. So next, let me share with you how we're bringing all these technologies and all this greatness together for you into our AMD Advantage solutions. So when we first introduced Advantage laptops, we raised the bar of what defines just a great portable gaming experience. And Advantage laptops have been carefully designed and developed with our partners to ensure that their premium experiences are felt throughout. Multiple models of these laptops are available in market right now from your favorite OEM and SI partners. And look, nothing compares to building your own desktop if you can, all right? But for those of us that maybe don't have the time, the experience, or the will to do so right now, we've applied the great AMD Advantage design framework that we applied to laptops originally, and we're bringing that to desktops now. We've partnered with several leading system integrators to bring you these turnkey solutions so that whether you're gaming, you're streaming, or creating, Advantage desktops have been designed and developed with our partners to be the best desktops you'll find in the market. All the incredible performance you saw here today from the 7900 XTX, well, that's what you can expect with Advantage desktop systems. It starts by pairing our Ryzen 9 processor and our Radeon XTX graphics card. Then we amplify that performance with our smart technologies, including Smart Access Memory and Smart Access Video, as well as the full feature set of Adrenalin software, including Radeon Super Resolution, AMD Noise Suppression, HyperRX, and more. But Advantage goes even further than that by ensuring every component, from the motherboard to the NVMe drives to the memory, the power supply, all the rest, they all work seamlessly together, and they're all tuned for maximum performance with every design and quality metric followed. Next, we focus on each system delivering its full graphics potential. We know that peak visual quality and performance are incredibly important to gamers. So Advantage desktops have been thermally designed, reliably powered, and rigorously tested to ensure that they deliver on the highest resolution and refresh rate experiences possible on the 7900 XTX. And it all comes together when you pair them with one of the over 2,500 AMD FreeSync monitors available, allowing you to experience the most demanding games at their smoothest and highest settings. And of course, each Advantage desktop is built to game with a full configuration of premium components, all tuned and tested reliably to give you maximum performance every single time. We're really excited to be working with all of these partners on bringing you the first generation of Advantage desktops. It's been awesome to be here with you guys today. This is a historic moment. Thank you so much for your time. Let me welcome Scott back on the stage.
Okay, are you ready? All right, what an incredible day of announcements that will transform the future of graphics in games. The AMD Radeon 7900 series, built for extreme performance to drive 4K and 8K high refresh rate gaming monitors, powered by the world's most advanced gaming graphics architecture, RDNA 3. Here we go. Starting December 13th, 2022, you'll be able to purchase the 7900 XTX for $999. The world's fastest gaming card under $1,000. Also on December 13th, 2022, you'll be able to purchase the 7900 XT for $899. $999 and $899. The world's most advanced gaming GPUs powering your gaming rig for years to come. That's the end of our show. Thank you for joining us today, and we can't wait to get these gaming cards in your hands in December. Have a great rest of your day.
Holy smokes. Hold on. Let me just pause the video here before it ends. Let me just pause it. Holy smokes. Holy smokes. It's a lot to digest. I'm going to have to go over everything that was shown today. But I got to say, holy smokes. Incredible. 1.7% performance over the 6950X. My sources told me 2 times over, but that was the 6900 XT and the 6950X, the 1.7. I'm pretty sure that translates to about 2 times over the 6900 XT. We're getting how much the ray tracing performance? Oh, I can't remember the numbers. I know it's 50% better per CU, but overall we're getting much better ray tracing performance. Now, from the numbers that I did see on the screen there, when they're running FSR, it did seem a little under what NVIDIA is doing with DLSS 3. I don't remember what their numbers are with DLSS 2.0. It might be close to that. Raster, it looks like it's above the 4090. They're going to be able to push more frames because they're using DisplayPort 2.1. it's capable of 8K, and it wasn't like low 8K frames per second. It was high frames per second. We have DLSS 3 coming next year, and that's going to offer, I think he said up to 2 times performance increase over FSR 2, which is incredible. Now we need to find out more details on how they're achieving that. Are they doing it similar to how NVIDIA is doing it with their DLSS 3? I guess when I get off the stream, I'm going to have to do a lot of reading to see what they're doing there, but the performance is incredible. And let's not forget about the price. $999 for the 7900 XTX, which is up there in performance with the 4090. I only think it loses in ray tracing, which is with DLSS 3. And I think it loses a little bit with DLSS 2, but they're using FSR 2.2 on it, and they're getting pretty close frame rates to what the 4090 is getting with the DLSS 2 with ray tracing, which is a win. Rasterization, I got to see all the numbers. We got to see the benchmarks, but it's looking to be outperforming the 4090, or at least matching it. Let's see what the numbers are. But that price, $999. NVIDIA is charging us $1,600. This is $600 cheaper for better performance in certain areas with a lot more features. It only seems to be losing with ray tracing. That's just blowing my mind. $899 for the 7900 XT. When they announced the 7700 and the 7600, it's going to beat the price of the 4080, the 4070, the 4060. AMD has really come to compete. And I am excited for gamers because NVIDIA's had a stranglehold on the whole industry, and they make good products. Don't get me wrong, they make good products. I have a 4090 sitting in front of me right now. They make good products. But the problem is, because they were at the top of the food chain, they were charging whatever they liked. And that has ended officially today. AMD has really fired shots at NVIDIA. They fired shots with, their GeForce Experience, having to log in and having to give all your information with that. You don't have to do that with AMD software. They fired shots with the high power connector that is on the RTX card. No need for that. They fired a lot of shots today. They said, you're paying so much money for a GPU, you should have all the features. You should have DisplayPort 2.1. That's not available on the RTX 4090. So for once, AMD is coming with some stuff that NVIDIA doesn't have, and I think that really bodes well. But the price is really blowing my mind. Now I'm going to have to, like you guys, scour through, Gamer Nexus's next video, go through all the press release that AMD is going to release today to find out all the fine details, and I'll come back with a follow-up video. But I gotta say, I'm really, really impressed with what NVIDIA showed today. Now down in the chat here, I see we still got like quite a few people here in the chat, so I'll answer some questions. First of all, I want to know what did you guys think of today's show? Are you impressed with this performance? Now, at first I was a little bit thrown back at the 61 teraflops compared to the 83 teraflops on the RTX 4090. But then I remembered you can't really compare teraflops between architectures. They're calculated differently. Each company calculates their teraflops differently. So we're going to have to see the raw performance through benchmarks to really know where it lands at. But in comparison, the RTX 4080 has 40, I believe it's 40 teraflops. If I'm wrong, you guys can correct me in the chat, but I believe it's 40 teraflops in the RTX 4080, and this trounces it. And the RTX 4080, they're charging more money for it than this GPU. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I think it's $1199, either $1199 or $1299 for the 4080 16 gigabyte. And these two cards decimate it for a much cheaper price. I saw yesterday in Best Buy Canada, and I saw some sites in the States, they listed the price for the 4080 16 gigabyte. I have a feeling those prices, it came off of the Best Buy Canada site this morning. You can't find that GPU on there anymore. The 4080, they removed the little header that they had for it. So I'm thinking that's going to have to get a price cut. That's just going to have to get a price cut. What about all of us guys that just bought a 4090? It's $600 difference in Canada. It's more like $1,000 difference. That's a big deficit. Now, for the sake of the channel, be honest with you guys, I probably will keep the 4090, and the 4090 does appear to be better at ray tracing, at least from what I've seen today, but it's losing in a lot of other areas, and that price tag is a little bit hard to swallow. Now, I got the Founder Edition, which is a lot cheaper than the AIB cards, so I'm winning there in a sense, but seeing what AMD produced today, it's kind of overpriced. There's no denying that. Also, too, I want to talk a little bit about the ray tracing performance. Not the ray tracing, the consoles. Now, we've seen a wave of console games that are next generation, quote unquote, kind of being at 30 FPS. We also saw today they did an Unreal Engine 5 demo, and it was running at 60 FPS at 4K resolution on these top-end cards. So right away, that tells me that on the Series X, on the PlayStation 5, Unreal Engine games, they're going to be at 30 FPS. It is what it is. You know, maybe we might get the odd one that runs a little lower resolution and runs at 60 FPS, but I think the baseline is going to be 30 FPS. And we kind of have a taste with that with the Unreal Engine 5 demo that's out there right now, the Matrix, that's running at 30 FPS. And we see how demanding it is, and if these high-end GPUs are running it at 60 FPS, the console is going to be running it at 30 FPS. We're seeing some of these games, Overwatch and some of the other games that they showed in this presentation, running at 500, running at 600 frames per second. That is just insane. It's absurd. That many frames running on these cards. And, you know, a lot of people kind of ridiculed me, said, oh, no, there's not going to be a mid-gen refresh. And I want to know, for you guys that watch the show today, do you think there's still not going to be a mid-gen refresh for these consoles with the performance leap that PC just made today, and of course made with the RTX 4090? There is going to be a mid-gen refresh. I think, you know, the end of 2023, early 2024, we're going to see a mid-gen refresh of these consoles because they're just not going to be able to hold up. And, you know, from console gamers finally getting 60 FPS, I don't see a lot of them going back to 30 FPS. That's going to be hard for them to go back to 30 FPS. So I see it's inevitable that a mid-gen refresh is happening. We've seen some rumors that Sony is doing it, and bet your bottom dollar, if Sony is doing a mid-gen refresh, Microsoft will follow suit. Now, we heard recently Phil Spencer said, you know, some of our prices will have to go up. Maybe he's talking about the baseline prices of the consoles with a mid-generation refresh. I don't know. I'm just throwing that out there. But I think a mid-gen refresh is definitely coming sooner than later, especially when these Unreal Engine 5 games start to hit. Gamers on consoles are going to be really pissed off that these games are playing at 30 FPS. And I don't want to hear this nonsense, oh, they're going to use this feature, they're going to use that feature, they're going to get it up to 60 FPS. We see these top-end GPUs today running Unreal Engine 5 at 60 FPS that have far more computational power than both of these consoles, combined. A mid-generation refresh is definitely happening, for sure. The wattage, I didn't even get to talk about the wattage. 355 watts on the 7900 XTX. That is insane. Now, I do expect the board partner cards to have more wattage, and to be honest with you guys, I was told that these things would be running 430 to 450 watts. Now, I'm not sure if maybe they were telling me these are the AIB cards that'll be running at that wattage, but I was not expecting 355 watts. The 7900 XT is running at 300 watts. That is insane. What is this 7600 gonna run at? I mean, the 7700 XT. What is the 7800 XT gonna run at? This is incredible performance. I'm excited for the FSR 3. Like I said, I got to go through over all the documents, so I don't know how they're achieving the performance. If it's some type of interpolation, if they're doing something similar to what NVIDIA is doing, I'm not quite sure. They alluded that they have hardware on the RDNA 3 die that supports AI. You know, they have more hardware on there for ray tracing. So if it's FSR 3 using AI upscaling, I don't know. I'm in the dark right now. I don't have all the details. Like I said, I got to read the press release. Well, I see there's still a lot of you guys in here. Let me just check something here. Yeah, there's still a lot of you guys in here, so I guess I'll answer some questions. Someone said my 6900 XT uses 325 watts and I have a gigabyte Aurora's version. And just imagine, so 50% better performance per watt. So just imagine what this 7900 XT is going to do, the frames that you're going to get from this card. Incredible. Capone 515 says AMD seems to be about efficiency. Yes, they definitely seem to be about efficiency. They're doing some magic. They're doing some voodoo here to achieve this performance with such low wattage. It is truly a big feat here. And you know, the rumors were that it's going to be a lot cheaper for AMD to produce these GPUs. Because of the chiplet design, and we're seeing that with that $999 price tag. My mind is still blown from that. That is an incredible price. That's going to be like $1,200 or so, or maybe a little bit less in Canada. That is just crazy. That's crazy. To put it in perspective, I paid $2,100 for the RTX 4090 before taxes. With taxes, it was just a little bit under $2,400. This card, like if I'm doing a conversion right, is gonna like run me like let's say 1,400 Canadian dollars. That's a difference of $1,000. And from what I can see initially, the only thing that you're losing a little bit of is ray tracing performance, but AMD is bringing FSR 3.0 that's going to give you 2 times the performance, which in my opinion would bring it higher than NVIDIA is doing. Now, I don't know how it compares to the DLSS 3 numbers, but that definitely will beat the DLSS 2 numbers. So that's an incredible feat. That was the only thing that I was really worried about. I always knew that the performance would be good on these cards. I was worried about the ray tracing performance. And today we found out that the ray tracing is fantastic on it. It's fantastic. Now I want to also see, you know, the pure ray tracing numbers so I can just do an apples to apples comparison to NVIDIA, because NVIDIA, I believe in their demonstration, I believe without DLSS, they were getting like 22 frames per second at 4K resolution with Cyberpunk. I believe with DLSS, they got like 70 or something like that, 70, 75, somewhere in there. And then, of course, with DLSS 3, they got like up to 120 frames per second. Now, AMD showed today that they were getting, I believe it was like 62 or something like that frames per second with FSR 2 on there. Which is really good. I want to see, like I said, the natural performance. They also said that FSR 2 is getting an update, so FSR 2.2, and it gets rid of the ghosting image. Now, if you've played with FSR, you know that around the edges, you do get some ghosting on the character. Now, apparently, this has been fixed with FSR 2.2. And FSR 2 was looking great already. Now, FSR 2.2, getting rid of the, that ghosting image is going to put it really close to what DLSS 2 is doing right now. So I'm impressed. I'm really impressed. I'm at a loss of words. Usually when these streams are finished, I kind of just like get off of the stream, but today I'm just excited. I'm just really excited. Now I'm gonna change the screen here so you guys don't have to sit here and stare at this screen. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna put some gameplay on in the background. Let's see here. I'll put some gameplay on the background here.
This is my base.
Yeah, I'll turn the volume down here. Let's see. This is Call of Duty. This is running on my RTX 3090. Gotta say, the 3090 is still a good card. I still get pretty good high frames on it. Let's go to full screen here. Yeah, it's still a fantastic card, the 3090. I still enjoy that card. And Call of Duty is a great game. But yeah, back to today's presentation. Like I said, my mind is just blown. $999 for their top of the line SKU. And it looks fantastic. It's a great looking card. You don't have to worry about getting a new power supply. You don't have to worry about getting an adapter to run it. Those adapters, they look awful. The replacement that I got, it's just one cord. It breaks out into two, or it breaks out into three PCIs, and it goes right into my motherboard. So I'm not going to have all that clutter. But for those guys that don't have the extra cable, that octopus thing, it looks horrible. I don't know why they designed it like that. It's incredible. And I'm seeing like the innovation that AMD is doing here. AMD, they're so innovating right now. Like even with their CPUs, like the only way Intel could compete with them is that they had to dump more power. They couldn't, their architectural differences or changes isn't what made them come close or made them compete. They just dumped more power into it. Those Intel CPUs run really hot. They're dumping a lot of power. Same with NVIDIA. NVIDIA, yes, they improved the hardware, but they also improved the power. Like these cards are drawing, up to 600 watts. AMD is outperforming them in many areas with almost half the wattage. So this leads me to believe, what is going to happen with the AIB cards? What is going to happen with the partner cards? Are we going to see some partner cards that have 500 watts? What could this thing do at 500 watts? And AMD is always very modest. So these are base clocks. And if you know anything about AMD, their stuff overclocks well. So at stock, you got stuff running at 2.5 gigahertz. What will the overclock be at? The overclock, is it going to be much higher than 3000? Are we going to get 3.5 gigahertz? Like, what is the Strix card going to look like for AMD? All of these high tier board partner cards, they're going to be there. So the performance, I think, is going to be crazy. I think it's going to be crazy. The only thing else AMD could have done today, honestly, is say that EVGA has partnered up with them and we're going to see EVGA cards. That was like on my wish list. And I know it was a hell of a reach, but that would have been so awesome. Especially with all the shots that they took today at NVIDIA. That just would have been awesome. All right, I'm going to try to read some of your guys' chat here. I know I've kind of been rambling for a little bit here because I'm just really excited, and it's finally good to see AMD compete. I don't want to say finally because they did compete with the 6000 series, but now they're competing in all areas, and I think that's really important. I think a few things hurt them last generation. I think AIBs really messed them up with overpricing the cards. Like, if you wanted to buy a board partner card, they were so much more expensive than the reference design. They were just a lot more money. And AMD didn't really control the prices with that. So I hope they control the prices with that. And then a lot of people are like, yeah, I like the performance. The performance is great on AMD, but, their ray tracing isn't good. Or they don't have DLSS or they can't, their streaming is not as good. Now every single issue has been addressed, and I think it's a great time for AMD right now. And then someone in the chat was saying, oh, don't believe the 8K hype. And I said, yeah, don't believe the 8K hype. But you know what? After I started seeing those numbers, and with the display port 2.1 capabilities of this GPU, I actually do think this card is going to be capable of 8K resolution. Now, we got to wait till everyone benches it. And, there's currently no, that I know of, any DisplayPort 2.1 monitors. They said that one is coming out at CES. So I guess we'll find more out. We'll find out more about that then. But I do think you will be able to game at 8K on this, because the 4090 you can game at a lot of games at 8K, and like I said, with the improved bandwidth that DisplayPort 2.1 provides, it's looking hella crazy right now. I can hear you licking your lips. I am, man. This card it's juicy, and that price is definitely juicy. It's like a steak. Yep, no power. RDNA 3 for the win. 4K 120 FPS cards. Yes, these cards will be capable of 4K 120 FPS. I don't know every single game, but they are 4K 120 FPS capable cards. At least the 7900 XTX. That one for sure. The new Unreal Engine 5.1 patch claims to run 60 on consoles. Well, I'll see it when I believe it, to be honest with you. Seeing how demanding it is, and I have a high-end PC, and I'm getting 60 FPS on some of those games, 50 FPS, so I don't know. I'll have to wait to see that, to be honest with you. Like, we're comparing, I believe, like the consoles are like like a 10, 11 on the PS5, and I believe it's like 12, 13 on the Xbox Series X. We're comparing these to 61 teraflops, 83 teraflop cards. You really can't compare them, and they shouldn't be compared. PC and console are two different markets. Console it's great for the price that you get, and this generation it's not held back like it was in previous generations. You got a great CPU, you got a great GPU in there. It's fantastic, and I think the problem is that they're not using all of the feature sets on these consoles, like FSR 2.0. It's like who's using it? Like, use these features to, get better performance on these consoles. They need to be using a lot of the features that these consoles are capable of, and they've been barely using them. That is definitely an issue. But another issue is going to be these next generation engines. These next generation engines are going to hurt performance on the consoles, and even more so that they're not using these features. So hopefully we'll get some of these features to be used. But honest to tell you guys, I'm just being honest, Unreal Engine 5, don't expect those games, or the majority of those games, to be running at 60 FPS on the consoles. Those games will not be. They'll be 30 FPS. You might get some performance modes where it's unlocked, and if you have a variable refresh rate TV, you can take advantage of it. But on the consoles, I'm expecting Unreal Engine 5 to be at 30 FPS. I'm expecting some of these next generation engines to be at 30 FPS, and I think some of them will reach 60 FPS too. Like it's not all gloom and doom. Like, tomorrow, all the games on these consoles are not going to be running at 30 FPS. It's going to be a gradual thing, and I think it's going to be more of a thing with like true next generation games that aren't on old hardware. I think some of those games are going to definitely run at 30 FPS on the consoles. We're already seeing that. And these games aren't even the demanding of the demanding ones yet. Well, apparently I just got murked there. I don't know what happened. All right, let's go. Oh, man, there's a lot in the chat here. Capone says he's ready to give his console to the kids. Unreal Engine 5 is going to kill them. Yeah, but Unreal Engine 5, it's oh, what happened here? Yeah, we'll put some Spider-Man on here. Just give me a second, guys. There, we'll throw some Spider-Man on. Now, I got to say something, too. To you guys out there that are gaming on 1440p, I don't know if you guys really need to upgrade this generation. I think the hardware that's out there now will definitely support 1440p for quite some time. You got a 3080, you got a 3090, you got a 6900, 6800 XT. You're fine at 1440p. And, like many were saying in the chat, 1440p is definitely the sweet spot for PC gaming right now. I think these upgrades are more generated for the high-end user, at least these cards that were announced today in the 4090 and the 4080, for users that want to game at 4K and they want high resolution, they want ray tracing, they want all the bells and whistles. It's designed for them. Now, if you want to upgrade, I would just obviously wait till, they release some of the lower cards like the 4070s, the 7800 XT. Those cards would be more geared towards 1440p. And I think they're going to be reasonably priced. So if you're a 1440p gamer, just hold out right now. This is truly for 4K gamers, or unless you have like a 1440p monitor and you want really high frame rates, you have a 240 hertz monitor. Sure, I understand that. But for most gamers, they're okay with the hardware that they have right now, unless they're gaming at 4K. And I'm happy that finally we're getting a 4K solution, because last generation it was good. Like my 3090, it crushed it, but there's a lot of games that it didn't run 60 FPS, or a lot of games that couldn't run it natively. I had to turn the DLSS on. Now we're getting a lot more options. If you don't want to run DLSS, you're still going to get high frame rates. You're still going to get good performance. If you want to run it, you're going to get even higher performance. Same with, FSR on these new cards. And I'm most excited for FSR 3.0. I want to hear more details about it, but all in all, it was a great day for AMD and for AMD fans alike. You guys are watching Spider-Man. This is on my this is running on my RTX 3090 as well. This game is fantastic. This is running with everything turned up to 10. We got ray tracing on here, and we're getting 100. I believe DLSS 2 is on. Yeah, it's on. So we're running it at 4K, and we're getting 110. Now, I believe with my 4090, that's going to go way up. And I think it's going to go way up natively, much less with DLSS 2 or DLSS 3. But of course, later this week or the weekend, once I hook up my RTX 4090, you guys will see some of the benchmarks for that stuff. Someone says they need a Samsung S95B. Right now is a great time to grab a Samsung S95B. That TV is on sale in most regions. In Canada, I believe it saw like a $1,200 price cut. In the States, I'm going to think it got at least an $800 price cut. And that TV does 4K 120 hertz. You got the brightness that you would get from a normal traditional LED TV, but it's OLED. You're getting vibrant colors, you're getting the quantum dots, so you're getting more colors, more vibrant colors than OLED. You're getting less chances of OLED of burn-in on this TV because of the pixel structure and the quantum dot layer and just the materials that they're offering in this OLED. And I will say, though, normal OLED, you're still gonna have a hard time getting burn-in on it. They've really improved it, but the difference with the quantum dot OLED TVs is that they're actually under the warranty that you're not going to get burned in. So that gives you a little bit more peace of mind to know that you don't have to baby that TV. But I got to be honest, the last two iterations, last 2 years of OLEDs, burn-in hasn't really been a thing unless you're gonna watch CNN 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Then maybe after a year you're gonna see CNN burnt in, but that's not the typical user's case. And also, too, what's interesting on the Samsung TV, the S95B, is that you can overclock it and get 4K 144 hertz, which is awesome. And these new cards are definitely going to benefit from that. 3080 does 1440p 140 hertz in esports titles, but the 490 makes a little more sense for, well, if you're into that competitively and you need all those frames, sure. But honestly, to tell you, man, 140 hertz. If you're filling that up with frames, I do think that's enough. I don't think you need a 240. But to each their own. And like you saw today in the presentation, they had games doing 500, 600 frames per second, which is just nuts. Burn-in was worse for OLED than plasmas. No, I've had a plasma and I've had many iterations of plasma. Plasma burn-in was really bad, and I've been in the TV industry for a long time. Plasma burn-in was worse than OLED burn-in. Maybe the first generation of OLED burn-in was pretty bad, or the first two generations, but plasma was pretty bad. They didn't get the burn-in right. Or mitigate the burn-in on plasma till pretty much the end of the generation. The Samsung one, I have that TV. I still have it, actually. I forget the model number. But the last Samsung plasma TV, that's when they really mitigated the problem of burn-in. And it just made it less likely, but it didn't alleviate it completely. I wouldn't leave... I would not use my plasma TV as a PC, for instance. My OLED TV, I use it as a PC monitor. I would never do that with a plasma TV. You would most definitely get burn-in. Yeah, C9 is an incredible TV. Definitely, definitely. Yeah, the B6, B7, and B8, they kind of they're a little bit struggly with the burn-in, but the C9 and above, that's when burn-in pretty much was eradicated from OLEDs. Not saying that it will never happen, just the chances of it happening are really slim now. I'm surprised a lot of you guys are sticking around. I guess you guys enjoy hearing me talk. Maybe I should do some more live streams where I field questions and talk about stuff with text. I've always thought about doing a show, but I don't know. I don't find myself the most interesting person when I'm online. In my outside life, I'm pretty lively and pretty funny guy. I don't know, when I talk about tech stuff, I get real serious. So, but yeah, maybe I'll do some more streams because I see you guys are sticking around. Still a lot of you guys in here, and I appreciate that, man. And the guys that are still here, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're new to the channel, I always do the streams of all of these events. And as long as this channel is up, I'll always do them. Of course, I cover tech-related news on the consoles, on PC, a lot of tech stuff on this channel. I stay objective. I try to stay unbiased. I do prefer the Xbox brand. I like their ecosystem. It is what it is, but I also enjoy PlayStation, and I enjoy their exclusives, and I own a PlayStation, so I like all consoles. Like, none of that stuff here. Like, oh my God, Sony's so bad and Microsoft is the best. No, they're both have their strong points. They both have their weak points. And at the end of the day, we're just a dollar to them. Don't worship any of these companies, because you're just a dollar to them at the end of the day. Now, some have better consumer practices, of course, but don't think that these companies are your friends. They want to sell you stuff, and that's just the truth. AMD is the same way too. Now, AMD's business practices are way better than Nvidia, and they're more in line with the gamers and the consumers. But at the same time, they want to make money, but they just don't want to empty out your pockets like Nvidia does. Like, Nvidia's looking really bad now. They're looking really bad with the price of their RTX 4090 with what we saw today from AMD. There's no denying it. And I'm interested to go out there on social media, on Twitter, on the forums, on Reddit, to see what gamers think about all of this, because it's just crazy. It's just insane, man. It's just insane. I want to see the spin. I want to see what some of these guys are saying, or I want to see if some of these guys are just being honest. I want to see if some gamers are pissed off that they bought a 4090 for the price that they paid for it. I really want to feel the climate of gamers out there. It's incredible. Let me see if I can get. Just rewind this. I'll just tell you, because we're about to get off of this stream here. So I'll just play this a little bit more. But look at the details of this game. Spider-Man looks amazing, and this is not even a new game. But look at it on PC, running at well over 60 FPS at native, at 4K with DLSS. But look at the quality of this. DLSS is amazing. It's an amazing technology, and I'm just hoping that FSR3 is using AI upscaling. And if they're not using AI upscaling, I hope they have image quality that's 95% of what this does, and I'll be happy with it, because some of the stuff I see, some of these sites, they nitpick at certain stuff, and some of the stuff you would never notice. Now, there is some stuff that is noticeable, like with DLSS 3. I noticed the image quality is not as sharp as DLSS 2. I know it's a little bit softer, and of course, you're getting frames added, so there's some artifacts that show up. It needs, I think it'll get better, but it needs work. Like, I'm going to try it, obviously, and I'm going to try it for benchmarks, but it's not something I'm going to really play with my games right now. I'm going to use DLSS 2 on my RTX 4090. It's cool to have it, and it's cool to show it off and to show it in videos, but it's not ready for prime time yet. They really need to fix that up. And I think this was partly done because maybe Nvidia knew what was coming with AMD, and they wanted to have these high frames, but, it's not even really AI upscaling. It's like a frame generator. That's what I call it. It's not the same thing as DLSS. DLSS 3 would be something different than what we're getting right now, like a true DLSS 3 upgrade. This is some different technology. It's like interpolation. It's like a frame generator, right? It's rendering frames that aren't there, which is completely different. Someone said wrong. Sony is good. Just ask the game media. Yeah, well, that's what it is. It is what it is. When you're a company that has lots of money, you're gonna get hate. And to be fair, Sony gets a lot of hate from the other side too. So it is what it is. But with the media, you are right. Sony is the darling, and it can do no wrong. It's sad, but it is what it is. All right, so that's pretty much it, guys. Thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. Hit the like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to the channel. I'll try to do a follow-up video, once I get all the details of the RDNA 3 architecture. I have a little unboxing video. I'm probably going to just throw it up on a YouTube short, to be honest with you guys, because a lot of people have already unboxed their RTX 4090s. But I will be displaying it on the channel. I will be talking about it, giving you guys my thoughts on it, giving you guys some of the metrics, playing some games. I'll be streaming some games this weekend with the RTX 4090. So come back, follow me on Twitter at D_batch. If you have any requests when I'm doing the streams of games that you want me to display with the 4090, I will be doing that. I'm excited for these AMD GPUs. A little disappointed that it's coming out December. You know, I was told that it was going to come out this month. So I guess the rumors were true that it did get pushed back to December, but that's not really that long of a wait. It's roughly in about a month, like 5 weeks, we're going to have those GPUs. Hopefully the reviews come out quite a bit before, like at least a week or 4 days before those cards launch. Hopefully today we're going to get some more information from AMD, the press releases and the Gamer Nexuses and all the other great sites that are out there. We're going to have more information on this, and I'll come back in a few days and I'll give you guys an update. Anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys on the next one.
Honestly, Herman, why are you robbing again? You know the police are watching your every move. I mean, we all know you're kind of dumb, but I didn't think you were this dumb. You must be desperate, which means you're not just stealing for yourself. You must be working with someone.